The Ragin' Cajun James Carville told Democrats to do the walk of shame. And we know how good Democrats are at following orders. So they lined Kamala right up for an early Thanksgiving apology tour.
The outcome of this election obviously is not what we wanted. It is not what we worked so hard for. But I am proud of the race we ran. You knocked on doors. You called friends. You called in favors. You said, hey, I showed up at your softball game. Now I need you to show up at the campaign office. And I know this is an uncertain time. I'm clear-eyed about that. I know you're clear-eyed about it. And it feels heavy. And I just have to remind you, don't you ever let anybody take your power from you.
And it wasn't just Harris. Tim Walz had to apologize. And the whole campaign did, too. Wilmington was ordered to report to Obama World and explain themselves. But they're still full of it.
It can sound like making excuses. This political environment sucked, okay? We were dealing with ferocious headwinds. And I think people's instinct was to give the Republicans and even Donald Trump another chance. So we had a complicated puzzle to put together here in terms of the voters. And it was going to take a little bit more independent Republicans. We have to understand that what happened in this election and what didn't. And, I think at the end of the day, we had to raise people's concern and the threat level of a Trump second term.
That was the guy Obama sent in to help run the Kamala campaign. And he just said, we had to say Trump was a fascist. We had nothing else to go on. We also learned how fake the polling was. The Kamala campaign admitted they were never ahead, ever.
We didn't get the breaks we needed on Election Day. There was the Biden-Trump 1.0, which is obviously pretty catastrophic in terms of where the race stood. When we got in, my recollection is some of that snapped back, but, we were behind. I mean, I think it surprised people because there was these public polls that came out in late September, early October, showing us with leads that we never saw.
Kamala's internals never had her in the lead, but they were telling donors they were going to win. They just needed more money. And then they took the money and gave it to Oprah.
There has been, even from some folks, anonymously at least, inside the campaign, some critique of some of the spending decisions around things like the set for Call Her Daddy, this, renting the Sphere, that sort of stuff. Do you think when you guys have done all the books, that whether the DNC will be in debt at the end of this race?
We had some unique things that we had to do in this race. You can look at, did we get the best deal here? This was quite costly here. It's quite expensive. At the end of the day, though, I think if you look at the spend we had, the majority of the money we spent, it was to reach voters.
Reach voters? You dodged Rogan, and Rogan was free.